Hello everybody, welcome to the I Am IT Geek YouTube channel. My name is Shabazz and as ever I am the IT Geek. Welcome back to another episode within my SE100 Microsoft Cybersecurity Architect exam topic series. And we are coming towards the last part of this series now. We're actually on topic 13 and today is going to be part 2 of that. And yeah, we're coming to, we've covered a lot in this series. It's a massive series, it's a massive topic, around the architecture of sort of security with Microsoft Cloud. So we've done a lot, tried to do demos as well throughout, and hopefully we're going to continue that in these last few topics as well. So without further ado, let's get started with this episode. As I mentioned, this is the SE100 Microsoft Cybersecurity Architect exam. This is topic 13, part 2. And topic 13 is around designing solutions for security posture management in hybrid and multi-cloud environments. So today we're going to do a bit of an overview of posture evaluation with Defender for Cloud. We're then going to talk about designing posture management and workload protection in hybrid and multi-cloud environments, and then we'll jump into the demo. So let's talk about overview of posture evaluation with Defender for Cloud specifically. So Defender for Cloud offers foundation level, but foundational multi-cloud CSPM capabilities, and this is for free. These capabilities are automatically enabled by default on a sort of your subscription or account that has been onboarded. So that's the key. There has to be onboarded to Defender for Cloud. The foundational CSPM includes sort of asset discovery, continuous assessment, and sort of security recommendations for sort of posture hardening, compliance with Microsoft Cloud Security Benchmark, as we've seen in previous episodes, and a secure score as well, which means that sort of your current status of your organization's posture is kind of there and shown. The optional Defender CSPM plan, which is an option, it's not done by default, provides advanced posture management capabilities such as sort of attack path analysis, Cloud Security Explorer as well, and advanced threat hunting, security governance capabilities, but also tools to assess your sort of security compliance with a wide range of benchmarks, regulatory standards, and sort of any custom security required in your organization, industry, or region. And as you can see in this table, this kind of shows the different features and the sort of the plans they're associated with. So if we look at continuous assessment, that's a free, security assessment, security recommendations, and secure score are throughout there across the whole map. And for sort of every level, so the foundational and the paid for on-prem, Azure, AWS, and GCP. But then we start getting into the optional ones. So from a governance, regulatory compliance, Cloud Security Explorer, attack path analysis, and agentless scanning for machines perspective, you need the optional, so the Defender CSPM it's called. But again, when we look at on-prem, for example, you've got the regulatory compliance, which is covered, but not any of the others. And then with Azure, AWS, and GCP, they all the Defender CSPM optional sort of features are covered as well. So yeah, we'll take a close look at this in the demo, obviously. Let's talk a little bit about the attack path analysis and Cloud Security Explorer. So the Cloud Security Graph is a graph-based context engine that kind of exists with Defender for Cloud. The Cloud Security Graph collects data from sort of the multi-cloud environment and other data sources as well. An example of this is the cloud assets inventory, connections and lateral movement possibilities between resources, exposure to the internet, permissions, network connections, vulnerabilities, and much more. The data collected is then used to build a graph representing your multi-cloud environment. And an example of that is on the image we can see on screen now. Defender for Cloud then uses that generated graph to perform an attack path analysis and find these sort of issues and the sort of highest risks that exist within your environment. You can also query the graph as well using the Cloud Security Explorer. Sorry, the example is not a graph. That's actually showing the attack path of an issue that's been found. So sorry, that's not actually the graph. Attack path analysis is a graph-based algorithm that scans the Cloud Security Graph. And this scan exposes exploitable paths that attackers may use to breach your environment to reach your sort of high impact assets. The attack path analysis exposes attack paths and suggests recommendations on how to best remediate issues that will break that attack path and prevent successful breach. When you take your environment sort of contextual information into account, attack path analysis identifies issues that may lead to breach in an environment and helps you to sort of remediate those high risk ones to start with, at first. An example of this is it's exposure to the internet, permissions and lateral movement and much more. So let's talk a little bit about what actually Cloud Security Explorer is. So by running graph-based queries on the Cloud Security Graph with the Cloud Security Explorer, you can proactively identify security risks in your sort of multi-cloud environment. And that's the key, they're proactive rather than being reactive. Your security team can then use the sort of query builder to search for and locate risks while taking the sort of organization's specific contextual and conventional information into account. Cloud Security Explorer provides you with sort of ability to perform proactive exploration features, and you can search for sort of security risks within your organization by running graph-based pathfinding queries on top of sort of the contextual security data that is already provided by Defender for Cloud, such as the cloud misconfigurations, vulnerabilities, resource context, lateral movement possibilities between resources, and more. Let's talk a little bit about the agentless scanning now, and then we'll move on to the next section. So with agent-based methods, they use what's called OS APIs essentially in runtime to continuously collect security-related data. Agentless scanning for VMs uses cloud APIs to collect data. Defender for Cloud takes snapshots of VM disks and does sort of an out of band deep analysis of the OS configuration and file system stored in that snapshot. The copy snapshot doesn't leave the original compute region of the VM, and the VM is never impacted by the scan. After the necessary metadata is acquired from the disk, Defender for Cloud immediately deletes the copy snapshot of the disk, and it sends that metadata to sort of Microsoft's engines to analyze the configuration gaps and potential threats. An example of this is in a vulnerability assessment. The analysis is done by Defender for Vulnerability Management. The results are displayed in Defender for Cloud, seamlessly consolidating agent-based and agentless results. The scanning environment where the disks are sort of analysed is regional, volatile, isolated and highly secure. Disk snapshots and data unrelated to the scan aren't stored longer than necessary to collect that metadata, typically a few minutes. So let's now move on to the section around designing posture management and workload protection in hybrid and multi-cloud environments. So Defender for Cloud combines multiple capabilities. So this is quite a common image that you'll see on Microsoft Learn when you're looking into Defender for Cloud. So you've got development security operations, which is a DevSecOps solution, and this unifies security management at the sort of code level across multi-cloud and multi-pipeline environments. We've then got the sort of cloud security posture management, or the CSPM solution, and that surfaces actions that you can take to prevent breaches. And then we've got the cloud workload protection platform, so the CWPP, with specific sort of protections for servers, containers, storage databases, and sort of other workloads like API management and so on. So we'll talk about Defender for Cloud, sort of the posture management and the sort of centralized policy management. So what problem does it actually solve? So, define the security conditions that you want to maintain across your environment, first of all. The policy translates to sort of recommendations that identify resource configurations that violate your security policy. Microsoft Cloud Security Benchmark is a built-in standard, and we've done some work on that. We've shown that in demo portal already. That's a built-in standard that applies security principles with detailed technical implementation guidance for Azure and other cloud providers like AWS and GCP, for example. Then have the secure score as well, which is part of that whole cloud security posture management. So this summarizes your security posture based on security recommendations. As you remediate recommendations, your secure score improves. And we'll have a look at that in the Defender for Cloud portal and demo shortly as well. We've then got multi-cloud coverage. So you connect your multi-cloud environments with agentless sort of methods for CSPM, insights, and CWP protection. Now, unfortunately, I've not got an AWS account or a GCP account, so I can't show you how to do that, but I can show you where to add those. And then we've got the CSPM, which we just mentioned, or the Cloud Security Posture Management. So this is the dashboard where you see all the weaknesses in your security posture. Then have the Advanced Cloud Security Posture Management. So you get sort of advanced tools to identify weaknesses in your security posture. And this includes the governance to drive actions to improve your security posture, regulatory compliance to verify compliance with security standards, and I'll show some of those in the demo as well. But also Cloud Security Explorer to build a comprehensive view of your environment. And carrying on, obviously there's some more features I want to touch on. Then got that sort of attack path analysis as well as part of the cloud security posture management. So this is modeling sort of traffic on your network to identify potential risks before you implement changes to your environment. We've already talked about cloud security posture, but this is also part of that whole group of features and capabilities. This is a map of your cloud environment that lets you sort of build queries to find those security risks. So we mentioned governance, but now we have security governance as well. We drive security improvements through your organization by assigning tasks to resource owners and tracking progress in sort of aligning your security state stable with your sort of security policies. And then we have the Microsoft Entra permissions. I've been told I've been pronouncing that wrong. I'm trying to say it in the French way, but it's Entra. Entra, that's how I'm going to pronounce it. It's Microsoft Entra. So this provides comprehensive visibility and control over permissions for any identity and any resource in your Azure, AWS, and GCP. Let's talk a little bit about the cloud workload protection now. And after we've done that, we can move on to the demo. So first of all, it's about protecting those cloud servers. So you provide server protection through Microsoft Defender for endpoint or extended protection with the JIT or just-in-time network access, file integrity monitoring and vulnerability assessments and much more. So then you need to kind of identify threats to your sort of storage resources. You can detect unusual and potentially harmful attempts to access or exploit your storage accounts using advanced threat detection capabilities and Microsoft Threat Intelligence data to provide contextual security alerts. We also need to protect those cloud databases as well. So you protect your entire database estate with sort of attack detection and threat responses for your most popular database types in Azure to protect the database engines and data types according to their sort of attack surface and security risks. And then we've got more PaaS services as well, including protecting containers. So you secure your containers so you can improve, monitor and maintain the security for your clusters, containers and their applications with environmental hardening, vulnerability assessments and runtime protections. And then there are more infrastructure service insights as well. So you can diagnose weaknesses in your application infrastructure that can leave your environment susceptible to sort of attacks. Then have security alerts and security incidents. So with security alerts, allow you to get informed of real-time events and sort of threat and security for your environment. And your alerts can be categorized and assigned severity levels to sort of indicate the proper responses. Then have the security incidents as well, so you can correlate alerts to identify attack patterns and integrate with sort of security and information event management or CM or SOAR, which is security operation orchestration automated response, and IT service sort of management or ITSM solutions to respond to threats and limit the risk to your resources. Okay, so now we're going to jump into the demo portal. Specifically, we're going to go to Defender for Cloud and just look at some of the things we've been talking about in this episode. So please join me in the demo portal. Hello, welcome back. We are in the demo portal again, and we're back in Defender for Cloud. And I wanted to have a look at some of the aspects we were talking about in the episode, if I'm honest. So we've got the security posture here, and it's all about the security posture management. So here we can see sort of the dashboard, and obviously I've only got my Azure environment here, but if I did have AWS or GCP or anything else, it would all be, I'd be able to look in, and you can see all the environments you can manage here from a posture perspective, security posture, should I say, AWS, GCP, Azure DevOps, GitHub, GitLab, and Docker Hub. So you can add all these as sort of like connectors to all these areas. So here we can see some of the environment risks. I've got two major ones there. And then it tells you my secure score, which is god awful, if I'm honest. And then we look at viewing recommendations here. That'll give me all the recommendations. It'll tell me which ones are critical. So I've got two critical ones on my VM, which I need to sort out. And then, all the sort of medium and high and low ones as well. Then have a regulatory compliance. So we've already looked at Microsoft Cloud Security Benchmark as a regulatory compliance. But again, if you have the advanced features on, you'll have a lot more that are enabled. So let's just take a look at some of those. So I've just got the foundational ones enabled. So you can see Cloud Security Benchmark. You can see the Azure CSPM one as well, which I've only got assessments I need to look into. But also SIS Azure Foundations, and then the NIST SP800 17R2 as well. So again, these are all capabilities that you can sort of controls that you can look at and remediate all these tasks, just like we've been through the Cloud Security Benchmark. It's all the same. And a lot of the time, if you configure or remediate something within one of these aspects, one of these controls, it's the same control a lot of the time. So you can remediate controls in other benchmarks as well. So it's important to try and get your cloud security benchmark at least to all green. Then I have workload protections. This is where you see all the sort of plans that you've got enabled and the coverage that you're getting. So again, I've not got a lot in this tenant. I've got I've got a database, some app services, a key vault, resource manager subscription. I've got storage accounts and some servers. But again, it tells you again I've got 30 high severity security alerts that I should really look into. And again, it just gives you a lot of high level information. But I'm fully covered, which is the main thing. Then we've got data security. So this is like looking at your data resources. So your Azure subscription, AWS account, and GCP projects. So I've got 4 resources with data resources that have high severity alerts. I can look into those in more detail, and I can well, kind of follow those recommendations. We've also got Cloud Security Explorer here, and this is where you can sort of create those queries that we talked about. Um, and then these are sort of the recommendations that we spoke about as well. So going through all these and looking at the recommendations and completing those to again be more proactive around your security posture. So that's all I kind of wanted to look at from a demo perspective. Just try and help you visualize what we've been talking about in this section or in this topic and in this video. There aren't any labs, so to speak, for this exam, and I think I've mentioned this a few times. There are case studies, though, and they're available in put the GitHub repository below. And what I might do is towards maybe the end, I'll kind of look at those different case studies that you can try. So I'll do kind of a video on that. But also I've got the GitHub repository below. I've got the link to the Microsoft Learn stuff, which I highly recommend you do as well for SC100. But also a link to a discount practice exam with Measure Up, and Measure Up are obviously a kind of practice exam partner for Microsoft. So I highly recommend. I use their content when I'm doing exams. It's really good. So yeah, thank you everybody for watching. Thank you everybody for continuing to support my channel, help it grow. I think we hit 17k subscribers. I may have got, so it's October almost now. Looking to try and hit 20k by, so I've got 3 more k by the end of this year, three months to do it. So let's see if I can do it. So thank you everybody for your support, and until next time, goodbye.